Patrick's Day. We stand before you with many labor organizations of the AFL-CIO to present what we feel is one of the best pieces of legislation in many years, probably over 50 years, the Employee Free Choice Act. We stand here strong in solidarity to talk about members and employees and people out in the community that work, that want to see, join, or even form a union, that get intimidated, coerced, threatened, and even fired because of their activities of what they can do under the National Labor Relations Act. So we stand strong here today to talk about legislation that is in Capitol Hill, on Capitol Hill, with Congress, with the U.S. Senate, and before us here today we do have a member of the City Council, Cynthia Willard, our council lady, and a good friend of working families and working people. And let's give her a big round of applause because Cynthia Willard not only supports this legislation, but I told her about our 1.5 million members that have signed cards and petitions and sent them to Washington, to the U.S. Senate and the U.S. Congress. And she said that when she finishes making her presentation, she will be the 1,501st person to sign this to get it to Washington. So let me introduce Cynthia Willard Lewis, our council lady.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here with this great labor family on behalf of the national, state, and local AFL-CIO, all of its chapters and affiliates, to say that this is the voice of the working man and of the working woman who by the sweat of their brow have built America and is building New Orleans. So I thank the labor movement for coming here immediately following the devastation of Katrina with your $1 billion in your trust fund that made a difference in housing and in employment opportunities, in workforce redevelopment, so that the next generation could be trained and prepared and New Orleans could be rebuilt by New Orleanians with self-sufficient wages, with union benefits, with pensions and retirement plans. These are the advantages that we fight for, and in unity there is strength. Now, this current situation of addressing the wrongs of the National Labor Relations Act, the new measures of the Employee Free Choice Act, are to end a lot of the controlling devices that eliminate democracy in a democratic movement. When all of the power is in the hand of the employer, when all of the controls and the dissemination of information is one-sided, then you do not have freedom, you do not have democracy, and you certainly don't have choice. What you have is manipulation, and that is not American. And so I am so honored to join this great team of men and women who have made a difference in the city of New Orleans, in the state of Louisiana, and in the face of democracy, particularly in the presidential election most recently, with the Democratic wave that is making a statement about the value and the importance of the average man on Main Street. And we are going to make sure that on Main Streets we have union shops. We're going to make sure that on Main Street we have green construction opportunities. We're going to make sure that we have workforce development programs so that the children coming out with diplomas can go and get certified and then join and make $40,000, go into a union program and come out making $60,000 by simply showing up and going to work. This makes for the difference in the economic viability of a community and the sustainability of our families. And I'm honored to be here and so grateful for the value of the contributions that the thousands of members of the AFL-CIO have made to this great city. And Tiger, I'm ready to sign on the dotted line.
that's a lady that has our support in every way, shape, and form. And with that, we're going to make you the 1,501,000 persons.
Well, I grew up in a family of 12, so I'm used to being in big numbers. All right. God bless you and this effort.
Thank you, Council Lady Cynthia Willard Lewis. That is a hard act to follow, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, you know, as we were saying earlier, it's the employer. It's nothing about a secret ballot. The employer is the one that makes the Celsius list for the National Labor Relations Board that shows who is eligible to vote and who's not eligible to vote. He knows who's taking part in those elections, and he's the only one that knows who's taking part in all those elections. There's nothing about a secret ballot or an open ballot here. It's about the right ballot. So with this, I'm going to turn it over to our next speaker, and that's Karan Blake, the Director of Interfaith Work and Justice Committee. Karan.